Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Vanessa's podcast on this beautiful morning. I hope everybody had wonderful first day of the week and are still going strong. So I always enjoy going live because it just feels more present, more connected, and even if I don't have so many listeners out there, I'm sure somebody's going to come across someday, and maybe I can be helpful to new writer out there who are new to the world of authors and who are longer to get established in this publishing world, which is fantastic because becoming an author, a published author, is a wonderful thing if you have that dream to start with. So you have to have a passion, and it has to be a deep installed inside you, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get to the top. Because it's very hard, it's gonna be it's very challenging to make money, and you have to put a lot of effort into it. So let's get started. So right now, today, I'm not talking about marketing. I will do another episode specifically on marketing. But today, it's only going to be about get your book done and motivation tips to get you going. So, number one, stop comparing yourself to anyone. That's the number one mistake that a lot of people do, is that because we relate to other people and because we get inspired by other people, it's great to listen to advice from other people and listen to their opinion. But when in terms of something that is dearly important to you, your story and your book, you have to not compare yourself to other writer, other author right there, or any publication out there. You just allow yourself to get inspired, but be your own. That's extremely important because of a massive amount of competition. If you appear to be slightly sound like a drone or a clone of someone else, of a version of someone else, your reader are going to feel that. They're going to be like, oh, that reminds me of this book that I read. Or they're not going to be able to relate to you in a sense where they relate profoundly to you and to your story, whatever story it is. Of course, if it's a biography and a story, a real story that is yours, it's easier to get to relate to other people. But you can also relate in fiction and self-help and other books such as adventure, western, horror. On my latest book, The Killer by the Railroad, I totally let my flow going. I try not to associate with anybody else. I got a few inspirations from TV shows, from Stephen King, of course, from Steven Spielberg, from murder TV shows, mainly because I don't really read a murder book as much. And my subconscious did the rest, basically. I wasn't trying too hard. I was writing and letting the flow going. And as I was going, clue will come to me and then I will know what to write next. But if I was losing the inspiration, that's usually because I was allowing myself to get distracted. So, and then, you allow fear to come in, anxiety, stress, worry, and you can lose that motivation, when you're writing your book and you want to complete it easily. It's a well-known thing in the writer's world. It's like you come close to the end, but you start having that frightening scare inside you, and you suddenly stop, and you're not finishing a masterpiece like you want it to be, because of that fear, that false evidence appearing real. So what can we do to get motivated? Number one, believe in your story, believe in your writing style, and just believe that it's going to be the greatest story out there. That's the number one, and that will motivate you to keep going. Number two, have a message in that story when you're writing. You sounding out a message, maybe a specific message, maybe a message towards a specific audience. You want to be heard, so and also you want it to be captivating for your reader, and make it sensational. And you want to bring a little bit of mystery. You want to bring a little bit of intrigue, mystery, all of this stuff, and a little bit of action. You want to make this like if you were watching a movie, a thriller, and it just keeps going, and you want to make sure, like, sometimes they can laugh, sometimes they can cry, sometimes they feel sad, sometimes they feel attached with emotion. You want to get that from your reader. So you don't want your writing style, and you don't want you bad choice of grammar and conjugation, all these destroy the message you're trying to sound out there. So that's extremely important as well. What I do is, and I listen to writers' podcast. There's a new one on Spreaker, and it's really good, and there's so many great content, and that just gave me clues. I go on Wattpad community. I longer to go back because there's a lot of wonderful information out there, and I need to be more engaged. So if you're a new writer, it's a good way for you to introduce yourself, to go around, make some new friends in the community, and get inspired. Writer helping author. Facebook groups are wonderful also. If you want some advice on your book cover, or you want to ask about paragraphs to be edited, this is a place to go to, those Facebook group, and you will have up to 100 of comments telling you, hey, you should do that. And all of those people usually are either published author, or just they've been writing for years, so some of them are really good. There's also a lot of podcasters who are author who've lived the journey, who've worked for amazing publishing companies. So don't allow blocks and roadblocks in front of you, or be too quick to judge on the appearance, or maybe the aspect or the perspective and you're getting on the people out there, and maybe more informed than you, and that can help you. So you can always, but don't never come from a place of need, and always offer something back. So when you do that, you get back, but you don't always expect it. It's always the best way to go about it. Be genuine, and be kind. That's my advice on that, to reach other author who are more advanced than you. So the inspiration comes within. So once you launch on your story, of course, there's going to be time when you need a break, because if you tired, exhausted, your brain's not going to function right, and you might not go in the direction you want to go. So you want to make sure you always have a clear mind, free of any toxicity, any stress related. And if you're having any issue in your life at the moment while you're writing the book, or any intense event happening, you want to take a break, because you don't want that to affect your book story. But when you're ready to go back to it. You want to give 100% of yourself, of what you got inside. So, to do that, you have to speak to your audience. So when you're writing your book, you have to think about your audience. Your audience is not just one person, it's a group of persons. So you have to build that image in your mind. Like, there's a group of supporter, there's a group of audience out there. I know they like my book, they love to read, or they've been following my prior books, or maybe my prior stories and things like that. And if you don't have any experience at all and they haven't read, then it would be good for you to spread your stories around so people can read it, so you can slowly form a little group of supporter around you, and people can cheer up for you, and you can cheer up for yourself. That's a great way. That's how I started, with just laying out a few of my old story, and then start reading some of my old poetry books, and slowly by slowly I grew my group, which was just intention. First was just going to be a love story, or just kind of place of story with an ex-boyfriend. We started because we both love to watch movies and tell story and write stories. So we decided to just write this love story while we were living the love story from an old couple from the 1950s. And that's how we started. We just wanted to have a story read, and that's what a lot of people want. You want your story to be read. There's so many stories out there, and they're not being read, because there's so many to choose from. But there's also 70 billion inhabitants on Earth, and so there is gonna be some people who are gonna read them and just think about the possibilities. That's what you want to focus on. You want to focus on reaching, and not thinking about your competition. Once you focus on your competition, you're going to slow yourself down. Tell yourself there is no competition. I'm only competing myself. That's it. And I'm not comparing my writing style with anybody, but I am open to improve. So improvement is really good. It's a really good way to go about it. So get motivated. Be confident about your story, just like I mentioned. Feel connected to your story, connected to your audience. When you feel like your story is not going where you want it to go, stop, rethink. You just brainstorm a little bit at night, have these fresh in the morning, and then just lay out a few ideas down on paper, and just kind of like put them down and see which one reflect the best with where you want to go. And don't overthink. Sometimes when you just let yourself write without thinking too much, you can write the best stories. So I go back to my last book, The Killer by the Railroad. That's exactly what I did. I was writing, and I was like, this is weird. Why would I write that? This is not my genre. I never wrote murder mystery books before. But it just came flowing out of my hand, and I had all this idea coming, just flying, and I was like, wow, this must come from all these shows I've been watching on Criminal Minds and SCI Miami and all these crime shows and Cold Case, and then I thought back, oh yeah, I did spend maybe 8 to 10 years watching those shows non-stop. So I think a lot of some of my ideas came back from that too, which is, but I do need to write, maybe read more murder books. So So I'll see the difference between watching and getting tips from that into reading and putting into place. But I'm still new in that job, and it's okay to not do the best masterpiece every single time. The important thing is that you keep yourself motivated, and you have to have ideas and dream realization in front of your eyes. You have to like see a picture of where you want to be and where you want to go and where you see yourself. You